Hello and welcome to the Salt City Gamescast. This is episode 160. My name's Nick Naylor. Sitting
That's your
across
name.
from me, Jared Holm.
Hey, we're back.
It's been a little while since we did a show. It's not been a little while since you and I have seen each other because we decided one hobby was not enough, so we keep seeing each other to play golf, and that is great.
Which I don't know if I'm all completely on board with. You know what I mean? I don't know if I can continue to see you as much. It's just really.
It's a lot of interacting.
Yep.
So this is like
We did play golf earlier today, and we got paired up with like the daddest dads you could possibly ever imagine.
retired old dads.
Yeah. And they were just throwing out fucking dad jokes the entire time, and it was pretty hilarious.
Not even like I mean, I enjoy a good dad joke, but they were not particularly good ones or funny ones.
My favorite one was one of the gentlemen lost a head cover or something like that, and one of the kind grounds crew drove up and gave it to him, and the old man said, "I've got one over at Glendale. You want to get that one for me?" And I was like, which is another golf course in the valley, which is not particularly close to where we were at, and I was just like, "That's fucking hilarious."
Yes, absolutely. Some housekeeping because it's been a little while. The most important thing, how was the gate? That fucking gate that I fixed.
Yeah, it looks great. I was impressed.
It's a little funny because I didn't replace all the slats, so when you approach the house, there's still like 15 slats that are like 15 years old, and I kind of wanted to replace them, but I didn't. Anyway, hey, it works. It's a gate, and it like latches and shit. It's good.
It's got a smooth action now.
Yes. Yeah, things are looking up there. And the second item of business is you're probably in the most danger than you've ever been being here.
Why is that?
We have killed not one, but two motherfucking Black Widows creeping in down into the garage.
Okay.
And these are not your little tiny, these are like, they're going to be there. Well, before I murdered them, they could have been in movies. These are some big motherfuckers.
Yeah.
And I looked at it and was like, holy fuck. Like big enough that they weren't even scared of me. Like I was moving the thing they were on and she was just like, the fuck you gonna do to me? And I was like, well, I'd smash you.
Yeah. No, I found one. So I was moving out some shit at my new place because I've got a bunch of shit that was left there. And my dad and I were moving this like children's play set that's like plastic slide and things like that. And we like broke it apart, and directly underneath the slide, like underneath it, was a massive Black Widow. And she had just successfully survived clearly all summer because there was like all sorts of bugs in her web, other spiders, and she was pretty big. So yeah, we got rid of her. But this is the thing. I think Black Widows are like, at least specifically in North America, like in America, the US, they're some of the most unsettling looking spiders.
They're like if you're scared of spiders, they're like the quintessential. Yeah, well, that's fucking why. Have you seen what that looks like?
Yeah, they're pretty gnarly. But do you know that like, and obviously like they are toxic to humans if they bite you, but like I think there is this conception or perception, I should say, that like you get bit by one and you just fucking keel over and die.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what I think is gonna happen.
It's like less than 20 people in recorded, like since we've been recording actually died. Like most people that get bit by them just have like maybe like a hive or maybe like a little bit of a adverse effect around the bite area, but like you've got to have like a specific like, I don't want to call it an allergy, but you have to have a specific reaction to their venom, and like it's not a super high percentage of death. It's like something where you probably should go to the doctor.
That's pretty funny.
But also like there are a lot of people that could just get bit and do get bit and don't go, and nothing really fucking happens to them.
That's good to know, because before you said that, my reaction, if I was to have been bit, would have been like, oh, we gotta go now. I would have been like on a Lime scooter, like trying to get there as quickly as possible, like hauling my ass up there. So hey, it's good news. I don't know. We've never had Black Widows. Like I don't think we've seen any, at least in my memory, in the last 10 years. And now there's a couple, so that's sketchy. But they actually came and sprayed again, just the general spider people. So
so here's this. Fatalities from black widow spider bites are extremely rare, with no recorded deaths in the United States since 1983.
Oh my god. Okay.
Globally, only 3 deaths associated with widow spiders were reported over a period of years. So
Seems
yeah.
like these things. I mean, that's
So it's really if you're super young, like Rowan,
Sure.
no good.
Yep.
No good, dog. Get him to the hospital. And probably Ava as well. No good. Or if you're old as shit. Those are like the 2 categories of people that are really at high risk of having like adverse effect. But if you or I got bit, as long as we don't have like some sort of, chemical reaction to their venom, we're probably fine.
I'm probably allergic. I'm allergic to everything else. I don't know why that one would be spared.
Well, I don't know if it's, like I said before, I don't know if it's like specifically an allergy to it, or if it's just like you've got some markers in your DNA that are hyper reactive to the venom.
Okay.
But yeah, they're kind of just not, I mean, they're terrifying the way they look, but they're really not as deadly as people make them out to be.
All right. Good to know. Well, Jared, if you were to put a price on owning the IP of Battlefield and The Sims and Apex Legend and Mass Effect and FIFA
and Madden,
around 55 billion, does that feel right for you? About what?
How about a nice big bowl of soup?
Like
is that
fucking,
acceptable payment?
That EA has been sold to the Jared Kushner group out of Saudi Arabia. I'm not sure exactly who, but I think it's
a conglomeration of evildoers and goons.
And it's been sold and taken private. They want to have it closed by I think the middle of next year, and the price tag's just $55 billion, and I'm like, what? That's so much money. Like I don't see it. Like I mean, maybe I'm really not understanding the sales. Like obviously Battlefield, man, like $55 billion.
We'll see. I mean, Battlefield 6 comes out next week, so we'll see how that sells.
I guess, but like it just seems like it doesn't seem like the people that make these purchases are ever happy about 2 years later. Microsoft is shutting down a lot of the studios that they spent a lot of money on.
Yeah, what do you fucking think is going to happen? They're going to shutter so many studios, and people are going to lose their jobs because of this. This is a vicious, endless cycle that repeats itself over and over again.
I'm glad that as I look through this list, well, maybe Jared Kushner brings back Dead Space. That would be one good step he could do to reconcile my feelings towards him. Well, like there's just not a lot of properties here that me personally have a lot of fondness for. Like I love Titanfall 2. I don't think that magic's ever going to get really
they canceled 3.
I don't think they're ever going to I have a hard time seeing them catch it again. And I just don't.
Here's the thing, Nick. Jared Kushner brokered peace in the Middle East back in the first Trump administration. So if anybody can bring back Titanfall 3 and make EA not a smoldering dumpster fire that it currently is, it's Kushner, man.
I don't know.
Brings pride to me to be named after such a great individual.
I don't have a ton to say about this because, like I said, EA we don't talk a whole lot about EA games on this show. We just don't. And
big fan of FIFA historically, but like I would readily admit that I am not the target demographic anymore.
You're not playing Ultimate Team?
No, I'm not. But that's a cash cow. That shit makes. I mean, I think FIFA's the most successful franchise that they have.
Ultimate Team, right? Like, well, that's the thing that not just buying FIFA, you have to be playing that.
But it kind of goes hand in hand, though, right? Like, you get that entry from the purchase price of hundreds of dollars potentially in the future, and then you've got Ultimate Team fucking fleecing you on a regular basis.
I don't know. I think that generally this is all just concerning because it's just the way the world's going. Is everything's just being purchased by huge companies, and then they're not really treating it well, and that's even beyond just the gaming space. And it's just kind of like, great. Let's make everything just worse.
Late stage capitalism for you there, my friends.
And luckily, we are fortunate that we talk about an enormous amount of indie games on this show that are really really good. So there is an environment there where there's still really good shit that just people that want to make a game go out and make. We're gonna talk about one of them today, but still, it's just like fuck, man. Like, it's not. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit.
Yeah, no, it's fucking gross. And I don't know how it gets worse from the uh perspective of EA because they're already fucking goons and evildoers all over the place.
I was laughing because they came out and said nothing is changing with our core mission and values, and I was like, well, fuck, because that doesn't help. We kind of wish that was
Yeah.
part of what's
And I
changing.
think really, really, like, all jokes aside, I think this is just going to stunt more growth, and not that EA is putting out a lot of new IP anyways, but I think that they're going to just rely more heavily on their tried and true franchises, and it's just going to be a factory of Madden and FIFA and probably Battlefield as well.
Mhm.
And then I think the rest is just kind of going to be floating, flapping in the wind. And I think that those series and the studios that develop those series are going to be pretty scared, and their heads going to kind of be on a chopping block, unfortunately.
Because unfortunately, usually the people that end up in charge are not. They only want that thing that's going to keep making them money all the time.
Right.
So my Dead Space is probably not in a good spot.
Definitely
Like,
not.
it's just not compelling, most likely, unless somehow someone's in there that's like, we're really gonna broaden our reach here. But like, yeah, it's probably just fucked. Like, you're not gonna see a revival of that, so that's too bad.
Yeah, and also the brain trust of Dead Space is long left EA anyways, you know
For
what I
sure.
mean? So like
Yeah, you.
it's like, I mean, if they did bring it back, it'd be a fundamentally different thing. And that doesn't mean that it would be bad necessarily. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really give a fuck. I think it's gross. And I mean, it's more of Saudi Arabia kind of whitewashing their image through these different ventures that they are investing in, and I think that people should be aware of that. I mean, but that's the reality of all of these games. A lot of companies have Saudi money, so if you like video games, you're probably supporting some gross fucking regime somewhere in the world.
Well, I was feeling a little tired, so I made an espresso something.
Yeah.
Irish coffee ish. I didn't have a recipe. I knew what I wanted to put in it. I put the things I wanted in it because I couldn't find a recipe for what I did. But I didn't ask you, all right, do you fuck with amaretto? Because if you do not,
I like it.
okay. I like amaretto a lot. But
It's just like super sweet and nice.
yeah. There's something we got to do on the show. I haven't actually made it yet. Is an amaretto sour, which
Those are good.
I haven't. I've not. I do not believe I have had that. So
Yeah, they're solid. They're
I'll
solid.
have to make one of those.
Yeah, you'll probably put your own spin on it and make it interesting. But like a basic amaretto sour is not, in my opinion, not super far off from just like a whiskey sour. It's just a sweeter version of a whiskey sour, which is fine.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, maybe I'll.
But this is good. It's
Yeah,
it's really perking me up, as they say.
Sometimes you need a little extra help. Team Cherry's released their second game, and Silksong's out after 7 years, and this is I don't know what if you really wanted just like another iteration on Hollow Knight, then this thing's really gonna fucking probably give you what you want. If you were hoping that like that this thing after 7 years is going to be some sort of a big jump for the genre or anything like that, I don't think that's not really what you're going to get here. With that said, I think that this thing's very very good and is very. You can tell that they've spent an enormous amount of time kind of hand placing everything throughout the game, and then it is really an enormous beast. I am not done with it yet. I don't believe you're done with it unless you've been doing something crazy since I saw you last. But it's a lot. It's a large game. I'm really puzzled because I've seen some people online. They're like, I finished it after 18 hours. My brain is like, you what? Like fucking how? and it has to be some sort of a main line because this game is so big. There's so many optional areas and maps that you can go down, and to me, it's insane to not do that. Like it's kind of insane to me when I see someone that's like, yeah, but I beat it in say in 18 hours, and it's like I think you like missed on kind of a large fundamental part of the game because I think what makes Hollow Knight and this game incredible is that there's an enormous amount of shit and so many things that you can go find and bosses you can fight that you do not have to fight, or different ways around mainline, like to get even into Act 2. There's more than one way. You have no idea. You somehow went the back way naturally, which is crazy because it's hard. That back way, I did it later. But so, what's your kind of initial? How do you feel?
Yeah. So going back to what you said of like, if you were coming into this expecting something like super iterative on the formula, then you might be a little disappointed. I would counter that with also saying if you were a big fan of Hollow Knight, the original game, and you were kind of expecting the same level of challenge or overall flow, then you also are going to be possibly disappointed with this because this thing is not it is not easy game, and the first game was not easy either. There
I
was
struggled with the first one, but I was at a different part of my journey here through
yeah
these difficult roguelike games.
yeah
But I remember really having a hard time with a lot of bosses in Hollow Knight.
No, it's hard. It's hard. It is definitely hard. I don't want to undersell it. But I feel like it was just like fundamentally a different experience, right? It was Cherry's first outing. And then obviously they had close to a decade to kind of like refine that process.
Mhm.
And so it's drastically different from that perspective in my mind. Yes, I mean, it absolutely plays very similarly. And the same process. I mean, it's a Metroidvania that, but it's absolutely massive. And to your point of them curating everything, like literally everything in this game is placed not haphazardly at all.
It's
And like,
exactly where it's supposed to be.
yeah, and they have designed it with that in mind, right? Where I'm not saying that that's not the thought process when you're designing any game, but I think that in this case, with just like, for instance, like peons, like when you're just roaming an environment, but not a boss fight, you're just roaming an environment. You're going to run into shit that is going to really challenge you always. This game is just, it lives on challenge. And it's not just the bosses that are challenging in this game, it's the platforming, it's extremely challenging. And there are a ton of enemies in this game that you're going to encounter that are just random enemies, and they will
They'll,
kick your ass as well.
they'll get you. They have some of them have move sets.
Oh, yeah.
Like some of them will just have like their one attack, but some have a couple of, and it's just the fodder.
Yeah,
And it's
absolutely.
like he's got a couple different moves.
Where I don't remember that in the original game. That's the difference that I had thought about. And I will also just put this in here. I've been, going through a lot with this move and have been extremely stressed. And this
It's
game
probably not helping. They're probably not
stresses
the
me
right,
out
yeah.
a lot. And so I think that while I have really enjoyed my time with this game, I've also found levels of frustration that I never had with the first one, where I have gotten to the point with this where I'm just like, I'm not there now, but like at certain points in the game where I'm like, I just don't know if I want to continue playing this game.
Mhm.
And that's not necessarily to say that's bad or I think it's bad. I think it's very good. I think it's quite good. But you got to really know what you're getting yourself into. If you don't really want to be challenged at all, this or like maybe light challenge, this game is not for you. This is a balls to the wall Metroidvania experience that is going to test your metal at every turn. There is no outside of maybe the first area of the game, there is no let's just like coast to the next area. No. Like every area is going to require you to learn it, memorize the area,
Find out what its quirk is.
yeah, what the quirk is, and then you're also going to have to like learn the patterns of the peon enemies as well, or you're going to get your fucking ass kicked.
Mm.
And that is something that you don't see in a lot of games, where it's just like, okay, every fucking thing that I deal with in this game, I've got to know how to handle it. And you can go one of two ways on that. You can say, yeah, that's fantastic. I love that. That's really great. Or you can say, it's a little too much. It's just a little too much. Like and where I land is probably kind of in the middle of that, depending on the area in the game.
Sure.
Some of it I'm like, yes, this is great. I'm having a lot of fun. And then other parts of it, I'm just like, I am not having fun. This is not fun to me. And so I'm kind of like, I'm not necessarily torn on the experience. I think it's really good. But if you were to ask me which one I prefer, I think that I would easily say the first game.
I'd have to go back and play the first one because
For sure.
my skill level was just lower. I don't feel like this is harder than Hollow Knight, but I know I know that's not true.
Yeah, it's a lot harder.
But for me, when I played Hollow Knight, I feel like I struggled a bit, just the same amount, essentially, is what I'm saying. So, but I've now played a lot of these and I've gotten pretty good at understanding kind of how they function.
Yeah.
You can see the writing on the wall and you understand, like, yeah, I'm not going to beat the boss on the first try. I'm really barely even trying to beat the boss on the first try. I'm just trying to see what he does, find out when I can punish him, when I can dodge him. And this probably isn't going to be a huge surprise because just recently I've been complaining about some games and they were just too easy. It was like, there's just nothing here for me with Suikoden. And I absolutely love this thing. Like the difficulty, like I have almost no complaints because I'm just like, yeah, I want it to hurt. I want to be so upset. I want this thing to just punish me. And when I get through it, I want to be really happy. With that said, I have not been stuck for any amount of time that I would deem like unacceptable. It's always felt like, and I think it does a really good job of this thing actually, where you go into a boss fight and you're like, you just get murdered, right? We're talking seconds, maybe 20 seconds. And you're just like, holy fuck, like it's never gonna happen, never gonna happen. I'm not. And then you go again and again, and then by the end of that, you've like memorized it. And that's like my favorite thing about these things is that going in completely getting destroyed, and then by the end being able to do the dance and bounce back and forth, and it's really satisfying. It helps that I think the bosses in this game are pretty fantastic and pretty varied. They all have a really a good hook. Like, how does this one work? And I think it's very clear that they spend an enormous amount of time tweaking them. And I would love to see the history on some of these bosses of where they started, what they added, what they pulled back. I would love to get like a no clip, like what Daniel Dwyer does onto this stuff, where it's just like, I'd like to see more information and some of how this was made. Cause you can just imagine it where it's like, oh, this boss is, we love the move set, but it's not quite hard enough. What if they spawn fucking ads? Oh, that'll probably solve the problem real quick. And they do that a few times, which I actually hate because ads add RNG. And I like to just be able to learn the move set. The ads are probably that's maybe my biggest criticism, I guess, is the bosses that rely on those. It's just like, it makes me panic. It makes my heart elevate far too much. But generally, I think they're really good.
I agree. I think the bosses are all pretty fantastic. They're varied. They throw a lot of different shit at you. The only critique that I would have of some of the bosses in the game, it's like, I think the bosses are broken into two categories here. One of them is like a predictive move set where, like, once you get down their movement and their move set, then you're like, okay, I feel like I can wrap my head around that. And absolutely, you're gonna have to replay the boss fight a few times, sometimes many times, before you're gonna get that down. Just because everything does so much fucking damage in this game, especially when you get in the latter parts of the game. There are certain things that will absolutely wreck you very, very quickly in this game. So yeah, like that predictive move set is fine for me, and I actually enjoy it. But then there are also bosses that have that predicted move set, but then there's also like elements of RNG to a certain extent in the fight. Just like maybe the trajectory of something that's happening on screen or things like that is not like as predictive. And those ones are the ones that have caused me the most problems and pissed me off more than I've been like, I enjoy this.
I can give an example. The second time you fight Savage Bloatfly, which has its own subreddit, which is fuck Savage Bloat. Like these people are furious. People apparently have spent like hours and days on it. I did not have that problem. But the second time you fight him, he's in the lava area. He does this downward smash 3 times in a row, and it breaks the lava or the ground, and then that ground comes back 10 seconds later or whatever, right? There's essentially 6 spaces, and he also can summon ads. So he can summon these 2 motherfuckers that really cause you problems. And then if he does that attack twice in a row, there's nowhere to stand.
Right.
Now you know it's coming back. You can go float. But at the same time, you're dealing with these fuckers in the air.
Mhm.
And it's just like, it's impossible luck because you cannot fend them off and have nowhere to stand and fucking work it all out. So that's a little frustrating when that happens. But like I said, I really like watching people just they're breaking controllers about this guy, and I don't fully understand it because I don't think he's the hardest boss in the game. But
I have
people
not
sure
fought
he
him the
is.
second time. The first time, maybe 10 tries, and I got him.
Bottom right. Well, he ends up being a side quest, so you'll grab him once you maybe get a little further into Act 2.
Gotcha. But yeah, I mean, like, yes, just like I think across the board, whether it's the environments that you're exploring, the enemy patterns, movement, even the lore here, I mean, is very carefully crafted and curated. And that's the one thing that has carried over in spades from the first game is just this kind of like whimsical, oftentimes very cute aesthetic that a lot of these bugs have that you're interacting with. And there's a lot of NPCs in this game that want to talk to you about things, a lot of hidden NPCs. And there's like a lot of quest lines and things like that that you could completely ignore if you wanted to. Um, or if you kind of follow the path and figure out what you need to do for a specific NPC, there might be benefits for you, or there might be negatives for you as well in certain cases. So I think that yeah, like it's clear and it shows like in pretty much every element of the game, like how much time and care went into all of it. I would also say that, we went through a pretty tumultuous time between the first game and now, right? Just globally speaking, we had a global pandemic, a once in a fucking generation global pandemic.
Terrible president, and then
Yeah,
a terrible president again.
right. Lots of really bad things have happened in the world, and I have come back to this over and over again, where it's like, Team Cherry, who hurt you? Like, what's been going on with you guys? Because it's just like some of the game design choices I don't necessarily like that much. The damage, I think it is a little overboard, especially early on, where you're like, you do damage to enemies, but like virtually everything takes 2 health from you when it hits you.
A lot of them do too, and I don't know if they've patched it out. They might have, but a lot of there were at least some environmental damage did too. And I do. I'm on board with everyone criticizing that. I think that is an unspoken rule that you have broken in a
Yeah.
platformer to double the damage on hitting spikes. That's not the way this works.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird choice that I'm not fully on board with. I mean, I've come to like kind of accept it because that's just the game. Um, Another puzzling decision I think is just like lack of upgrades early on in the game. Like you obviously get down the line, you upgrade your needle, which is basically your sword, and you
Mm.
also upgrade your health. But like early on, there's just really not a lot when you compare it to like other games in this kind of format. You're getting like a steady drip of like health upgrades and potentially damage upgrades, and that's just not really there early on. And that is kind of puzzling to me as well. It's just like pretty
I
sadistic in the way that they designed it.
I think that that they should have probably had one of those needle upgrades and the ability to get a mask upgrade halfway through the first act. Mask for sure. The needle upgrade, I don't know what the percentage increase is.
It's
I
not
don't
high.
actually think it's even substantial enough to matter either way. Like how we're saying it should be there.
Yeah.
It's not going to change enough
Yeah.
because I've like upgraded. And I was like, sweet, I can go grind over here and I'm going to fuck these guys up. And I was just like, you're still taking like 9 hits. Like
Yeah.
it's not some big bump. So I'm not necessarily against some of those being maybe a little earlier because you're right. Like that first act is tough because you are not equipped. And in and you don't have all of your movement upgrades, so it is quite difficult.
Yeah. The other thing that I don't agree with is the economy in this game is fucking brutal. It is absolutely brutal. There
You're,
is like
you're poor.
you're collecting rosary beads in this game. That's basically your currency. There's two currencies, but the one that really matters is rosaries. Um, and there are times where, I mean, it's just like any Souls like style game. If you die, you can go back to your body, your cocoon in this case, and reclaim your rosaries. But I don't know how many times I have not been able to reclaim my rosaries because I die on the way back. And there are ways to bank your rosary beads.
And to bring those back, if
Yeah.
you have you gotten the thing,
Yeah, the
the
worms.
little
Yeah, the little worm things that you get, but those are finite as well. So like it's an item that you can basically pop. That if you die, the rosaries come back to you, right? But that again,
But have you met the thing that makes you new ones?
oh yeah,
Okay.
I meant
It's a
that.
pain in the ass to get to her, so I haven't actually
Yeah,
the trek. But if
it
you really wanted more, you can go see her occasionally.
it doesn't make a huge. It doesn't affect the gameplay very much when you get further into the game, but early on, I really hated it because everything is so goddamn expensive. All of the checkpoints or rest areas in this game cost 60 to 80 rosary beads. Like mid chapter 1, that's around what they cost. And there were times where like as I was struggling to like kind of get my feet under me in this game, where I was just like, I just don't have this, but I'm here. And I just don't have the currency to do it. And so it's just like, well, do I go grind? I guess that's what I'm going to have to do. But I just like, I don't know. I was very frustrated with that early on.
If you always have it, then what's the mechanic exactly?
Well, that's the counter is I just
Right.
think that they should be free.
Right.
Like they should just be free. Like I just don't think that there's really any.
The bonfires should be free.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Like I just don't agree with like having to pay for that. It just doesn't feel great. And
I think that messes up the lore of this oppressed fucking climb.
I don't
through
care.
the Citadel.
I do not
and
care.
then you finally get close, and then you're in the underworks, and there are one-time use fucking benches and shit.
Well, and even going back to my comment about like Team Cherry who hurt you, there are straight up trap fucking rest areas.
But you found the one that falls?
Yeah, I found one that's got and there's a area early on in the game called Hunter's March that requires some pretty tricky platforming, and then there's also some pretty tricky enemies to get down. These like fucking ant warrior assholes that take a gajillion fucking hits to kill.
Yeah,
and they are pretty tough until you like kind of learn their patterns and things like that. And it's an arduous path up to, and it's basically like you go from left to right, and then you gotta ascend to the top of the area to get where you need to go. And there is like no rest areas in this place, no checkpoints, and you're like, after a few times of dying and like trial and error, you're like, man, this place is pretty tough. And then you get up to like pretty close to the top and there's a rest point, and you're like, oh fucking thank God, fucking finally. I've been like banging my head against the wall in this place, and then you go and sit down and immediately a trap springs, and the first time that I sat down it fucking killed me. And I straight up like it's just a fucking big meme on the part of Team Cherry where they're like, oh yeah, like here you go, that's just killed me. And it's just like one. It just feels terrible. Like I mean, like it's funny, like at the end of the day it's like, but in the moment I was fucking furiously angry. There's also one that there's at least one or two that I found where it's like you pay and then it's just like, no, it doesn't work. You gotta,
it's broken.
You gotta go do something, which like I don't hate that necessarily. But yeah, like
that's fine because it's actually close to that area. It's their hidden wall. There's another one which I won't tell you where it is because it's very fucking funny because I don't think that you found it yet. It fucking collapses. It never comes. The whole thing just fucking crashes and you fall down this huge pit. And it is at the end of this fucking grueling thing. And when I did it, I was just like, I fucking love it because it's such a fucking dick move. And it's only the one place that does that specific thing. It is a problem. That area that I'm in, is a fucking problem. But made me laugh a lot. I enjoy it quite a bit. I'm here for all of it. Just make it as fucking miserable as possible.
No, I am on the opposite side of that. Like, I don't want it to be miserable as possible. I want to be challenged. I mean, if you don't have any challenge in a game for me, then it's not satisfying.
It's just
I just don't want to. I don't want to be just so challenged where I'm just like, this is exhausting. I feel like I'm exhausted. And like it's a fine line because the trial and error with like a boss or something like that. Once you beat that boss, that should feel satisfying where you're like, oh yeah, I got it. And I felt that 1,000 times in my gaming life.
mm,
I haven't felt that on some of the bosses for sure, but I haven't felt that on every boss. When I finally get it down, I'm just like, I don't ever want to do this again. That drove me fucking nuts.
I do like when I finally get a lot of these fucking bosses and they don't explode and kill me.
Yeah.
I literally like visually am like Michael Jordan fist like fuck yes yes
Yeah.
just like because I'm just like oh my god I got him. I had like no health. I managed to get him and it's like a huge fucking celebration. And the reason I'm like fine about the difficulty for me, and I was telling you this the other day, is just if I play for a half hour, I always make some amount of progress. It's
Mhm.
never been I wish I had my half hour back. I haven't had that yet. And I might when these like the end game boss, like sure, I'm kind of expecting that, right? But I just always am able to just inch and creep through this thing. So I've just never felt deadlocked in a way. And I thought it was gonna happen as I got towards the end of Act Two. Because I was just like, I'm running out of things to do, and that fucker's hard, and this fucker's hard. And then I just find that I'm just like not towards the end of Act Two, and there's actually an enormous amount of areas that I just missed a little hallway here, and then it just blows up to a whole new map. And it's very clear that these fuckers at Team Cherry were just like, well, we made another area this way, and another area, and another area, and you can almost see when this was a smaller scope or scale how some of these things just wouldn't have existed,
I don't
and they
think
just
that I don't think it's controversial to say that this is probably the largest Metroidvania that I've ever played and probably ever been made. Uh
I'm at 50 something hours, and there's 3 acts in this game. I'm guessing the third act is
he's
shorter.
got to be, yeah.
I'm assuming, and I do think that I'm now getting there. I have no side quests left to do. I'm on one motherfucker boss, and we should probably talk about this because he is the run back that everyone is very mad about. There's a couple that people are upset about,
I'm
but
upset about all of them.
there's like hardly any that are bad. I don't understand it. There's not that many that are a big deal.
I just don't think it's I don't think it's good game design. I just don't. Like, if you die on a boss and then have to run back, and some of the run backs, I mean, you could say they're not great, like, or they're none of them are a big deal, but like it's just the amount of time. Like, just to even get back to the boss room. I just don't see a point. That's not fun to me. It is frustrating. Like, put a checkpoint outside of the boss room. If I die, spawn me back at the front of the boss room. That's what I want. I do not want to have to run. And some of these runbacks are not short. You know what I mean? Like, some of them require you to go through an entire environment, and which is further compounded on because some environments you don't have a map right out of the gate. So it's just like, where am I going? I don't fucking know. And then you've got to find the NPC that sells you maps. And so, like, I just don't think that it adds any sort of satisfaction or appeal to the experience. Like, just put me in front of the boss, because that's the thing that I want. Like, especially if I'm fighting a super hard boss, I just want to focus. My mental stack wants to be on the boss. I want to be focused on that boss. Immediate get back into the action against the boss. I don't want to have to navigate this sometimes extraordinarily difficult environment to then maybe possibly die before I even get to the fucking boss and then have to do it all over again. I just don't like it. I think it sucks.
I think it's fair. I thought that it was people were overreacting a bit as far as how long the run back was because the last judge, I believe, at the end of the first act, if you go the normal way, people were complaining about that. But there was
That one didn't bother me that much.
There was an optimum path there where you didn't have to fight anyone if you just knew the environment. You could literally run through it. You run past all the guys, and you could do it pretty quickly. And I was like, man, that's kind of overblown. And he probably took me less than 10 tries, something, and I beat him. But I'm on Grohl the Great, and you're just like, you're gonna be so mad. It's so long. And I found a hidden bench, but it's still pretty long. And it's the fucking hardest. It's the bile water by
the stuff that doesn't allow you to heal.
You know how I feel about poison, and this is real close to poison.
Yeah, it's
like
pretty terrible.
This is poison adjacent.
Yeah,
doesn't take your health down, I guess, but you just
can't heal.
You can't heal until you get rid of that. You waste a whole heal. It's fucking tough. There is a charm somewhere that helps with that, but I don't have it, so I don't know where to get it. But and that boss fight is tough. That's what I was working on today, and I was hoping to have him done so I could finally say the worst run back, I'm through it. I do not have it done, and I haven't made a particularly large amount of progress against him because this boss in particular has lots of. It's an arena before the boss, which is, and it's not an easy arena, and it's like, this is fucking putting me in a weird spot. I think I got to maybe change the whole build and find out how to cheese this motherfucker, because he's giving me a lot of trouble. I've seen some people just hanging out in the water the whole time because they've found how to like try to cheese him. Mm-hmm. So maybe that's in my future, because that's like one of the last things I'm trying to do before I finally go up and fight the first boss that leads you to credits in this game. But generally, pretty much I am just been having a great time playing this game. Been playing it nonstop. It's fine on the Steam Deck. Been running good. I wish I played all of it on the PC with the big screen, but I have not.
So. Yeah, game looks great. Really fantastic. A lot of like really cool parallax scrolling in this game, which is really neat. Just a lot of really cool effects and just polish all the way around on this thing, which is great. Another thing that I really love is build diversity here is much more dynamic than in the first game. While there was like pseudo builds in the first game, or maybe not even pseudo builds, there were builds in the game. There's this crest system here that allows you to the crest itself, when you equip it, changes the moveset of Hornet, right? Like drastically in a lot of cases.
Changes from, well, your pogo changes.
Yeah.
This game starts with a 45-degree pogo that we didn't really talk about, which is very difficult. I prefer it now. I like it.
Yeah.
But I played with it for 50 hours, so I've gotten used to it. But you do get relief. If you absolutely despise that, you can get your standard. You basically have a crest this is the Hollow Knight crest.
Pretty much.
It's pretty close.
Yeah. It's really pretty satisfying. And then you get these things called memory lockets that allow you to buy more slots, and they are color coded. I think there are 3 different colors. It's like yellow, blue, and red, if I remember correctly. And each crest is going to allow you to equip different numbers in different kind of combinations of these color coded items. And yeah, I mean, if you're looking for like a drastically different gameplay experience, that's here for you. And it's really based on your preferences and how you want to approach it, which is fantastic.
I think there's 8.
Yeah, there's a lot of them for sure. I think I've unlocked like 3 or 4.
Have you unlocked the permanent upgrade that gives you, it's like a yellow slot on all the crests?
I don't think
because
so.
You're probably ready to. And there's a dude at the bottom that you've already met probably, but you forgot about him, that was like, I like to see experience and shit. And then you go back, and if you have to use your memory lockets. And if you've used X amount, then he suddenly will give you a slot on all of them.
Oh, that's cool.
Which is, and it will.
And he's in Bone Bottom?
Moss.
Oh. Moss Home.
Yeah. Like the first, it's like the first fucking area, but okay. I think it was a door that you opened with your fucking violin thing.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And then, but it's really great because you end up with that ability that you can stick to the wall.
Yeah.
And you want to always have that equipped. So when you have 3 of those, that's great. That one is just always sitting there, no matter what you use, and that helps. And I think he has more upgrades. I've been meaning to go back to him because I've gotten a few more memory lockets just to see.
Yeah.
Definitely a lot of exploration. I think this game is best when you are not really, trying to limit how much you're looking up on the internet for sure. There's things that you just be like, all right, how do I do this? But
Yeah.
I think
Quests in particular, you're going to do a lot of that.
but it is a lot of fun to kind of just dig through this thing. I think it's a huge part of the game.
It's fucking massive, like
So big.
overwhelmingly large. And yeah, like I felt like I've talked a lot of negatives about this because I do think that for me personally, there is a lot of negatives here, but I do think it's fantastic and I do think it's worth your time. Like, especially if you're a fan of Metroidvanias, like I feel like this is just kind of like it's not reinventing the wheel, so to speak, but it is refining this experience into something that we probably have not seen before in the genre, and I think that they deserve a lot of credit for that. Also, fuck you, Team Cherry, but also, very very impressive in a lot of ways where you're just like, yeah,
So-
you can do a lot in fucking 6 years if you just work on one thing and don't talk to anybody about it. Yeah, this is a thing that you did.
So before we go to break, I'll be almost 50 when presumably they make another game.
Yeah.
And you want them to stick with the Hollow Knight world, or do you want them to be like, actually, we got a whole new thing?
I think that after this, I'm ready for something new from them, probably.
Yeah.
I think creatively, probably from their perspective, it's like, what else can we do with this, right? The first game was fantastic. This game is fantastic, and they've just like expanded it to like the highest degree that you could possibly imagine with Silksong. So I would think they would be like, we want to do something new.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate to see them build a new world.
Yeah.
Make a Returnal. Do it.
Just do a different type of game.
Do what Housemarque did. Just be like, hey, what if we took all that and made a fucking.
Yeah, no, I mean that is a good example for sure because like very indie studio that did some very small games and now has turned into kind of a powerhouse. So
I don't think they want to do that. It actually surprised me. I think that they want to just fiddle and make awesome things, which is like, you did it.
there's not a lot of them.
So
It's a very small team, which just makes it even more impressive what they've done with this fucking thing.
it's kind of, and it's like, obviously they're going to make enough money here that they can do whatever they want. So it's like, it's kind of freeing.
Yeah,
They can literally, and they will do DLC for this thing
for sure.
And
Probably like 4 or 5, if anything is like the first game. So.
yeah, and I didn't play any of the DLC for the first one.
Yeah, I played a little bit of it.
Did you?
It was good. Yeah. There was like this circus DLC that was basically like an arena mode, but it was pretty cool. It was fun. That's the only one that I can remember, but I'm pretty sure I played some more as well.
People are modding the Savage Bloatfly so that you fight like 2 or 3 of them in the arena. It's fucking hilarious.
Okay.
And it's just like, why would you do this?
Yeah, that doesn't sound great. Well, let's make it harder. Let's make the game harder than it already is.
I think they've successfully made a game that, there's a whole community around this thing. And I think that they will retain that community.
Yeah.
And they are going to keep on making their art and keep chasing this thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Why don't we go to a break and talk some Borderlands 4 when we come back? All right, we're back. Jared, what are these things that I've been buying? Like, I thought I've been buying these. They're not like malt liquor, like these. This is a Sunny Margarita in a can, right?
Are you sure it's not malt liquor?
Well, I guess it is. I guess I'm just used to these always being high alcohol content, and some of those I actually don't mind. I've been buying these at the gas station before we go golfing, really just to see what I can throw at you,
test the waters,
basically. But
yeah.
I don't. They're just weird. They're 5%. They're not particularly boozy. They're not particularly good. I don't.
Yeah, we had some Bahama Mamas today on the golf course.
Yeah,
those are the best ones out. There's like Bahama Mama Margarita, and then Screwdriver, and then I think a pink lemonade thing as well.
This is actually not offensive. This is kind of nice.
Yeah, they're all right. I just am not. I'm not the Club Tail Crusher is what they're called. I think they are just mid. That's what I would say.
My issue is I really don't like 5% beer. Like, I'm just not. So we're going golfing. That I don't really want that.
Yeah, you don't want to drink like a 9%.
And I don't. Yeah. So what I like is a hazy that's 8%. And I don't want that out on the golf course. So
That's a mistake.
I'm just gonna keep buying these weird things
Yeah.
and bringing them out.
Yeah.
I don't know. So
My parents actually brought me randomly like Monster energy drink hard teas.
okay.
And they're not good, but they're also not terrible. Like I still think that Arnold Palmer is like the king of that kind of realm.
Pretty much.
But they're better than I would have expected. I'll say that.
Okay.
Maybe I'll bring some for us. We're going to play golf on Friday as well, so
Yeah.
we'll see how it goes.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
Nick, are you a premium gamer?
I'm yeah, I think so.
I think
If we're
two
if
of
we're
us premium
if we're talking
gamers.
about Randy Pitchford.
We're ready to
for,
talk about a premium game for
that-
premium gamers.
How has, before you get into it, I guess we're going to get into it. How has he not gotten the message that he's not the messaging guy? That like historically, when he speaks, it's always not good. Like it's just never good. And like eventually you would think that you would be like, listen, I still think I'm right, but obviously the rest of the world does not. And I'm running a business, and maybe I should shut the fuck up and maybe wear a solid color shirt.
You think? Yeah. Yes. Don't
Like-
look like a fucking clown, like quite literally like a clown. Often.
He's just put his foot in his mouth so many times that you're just like tired of it. You're like, what the fuck you doing?
Yeah, he's a giant tool, man. Like, I mean, end stop. I don't like him. I think he's bad for Gearbox. And the reality is he is Gearbox. And so like you can't have one without the other.
But Gearbox has an owner these days, right?
Yeah, 2K.
So you'd think that someone would be doing something.
Yes. I think that, I think it would be naive to think that this conversation has not come up many, many times in relation or to Randy. Like, hey man, you should probably pump the brakes a little bit. We're trying to sell a game here and it cost us presumably hundreds of millions of dollars to make. And so we want to maximize profits here. And you are not doing us any favors by pissing off people that bought the game, or if people were on the fence about not either buying it or not buying it, I don't think you're doing yourself any favors.
And basically, I believe what you're alluding to is that that Borderlands came out and it did not run very well on a lot of rigs.
Yeah.
Tell me it's Unreal.
I believe so. Yeah.
This has been, anyway, I keep hearing, like, we keep playing games, keep having the same fucking discussion, and I keep seeing people say, yeah, Unreal is fucking a problem. But anyway, it comes out, it doesn't run very well. I can't vouch for it. I started it up, and Randy comes out and he's like, listen, you gotta have the best rig. You're trying to play this game with some fucking thing that's not a powerhouse, and basically put the blame on to the other people.
What he said was, if you're going to try to drive a monster truck with a leaf blower, you're going to have a bad time, which is fucking hilarious when we talk about this thing.
Which, okay, it's fine you can make a game and you can make it public what the minimum specifications for the game are.
Yeah.
And then if it doesn't run well because people are below the minimums, I think that's fair game. Anyone can make anything. You don't have to make it run on a graphics card that was 2 years old. You don't have to. You got to tell us. You got to come out and say, hey, guys, it's not going to fucking work. Here's what you have to have.
Yeah.
But if that's not what they did, and I don't know if that's what they did, but like if their minimum specs aren't cutting it, well, like you fucked up. You listed the wrong shit, and people thought something would work and is not acceptable. You don't then get to come out and say, if only you bought a $2,500 graphics card. Go pound sand, like fucking.
Yeah, all of it's bad. He's an insufferable prick and so fucking entitled, and it's just like everything that he has said is just so insulting to like people. One of my favorite, besides the premium gamer tweet, which just absolutely nails on the chalkboard cringe, was like, oh yeah, clearly everyone in the community knows better than the industry leading game devs that, you know, have worked on engines, multiple different engines and different environments. Please, like, show me that you can make a more stable and you know, better performing game. Like, clearly I don't know what I'm doing. And it's like, dude, you're missing the fucking point, man. People just want your shit to run well.
Yeah.
Like, they want to play your game. And it's okay to be pissed off when you pay hard-earned money for a game that does not perform on your hardware at the level that you should expect it to. And it's somewhat, I don't want to say disingenuous, but like, yes, you could see like, okay, my rig is like 5 or 6 years old. I didn't buy top of the line parts when they were, you know, cutting edge, and the game is not running ideally for me. I could understand from like a dev's perspective being like, well, yeah, like it's never going to run you know, at a high frame rate or really perform super well on that old hardware. The problem is that a lot of people that had like fucking massive beefy rigs were also struggling to run the game adequately. I can only say from my anecdotal experience, I had no problems with performance. Even before the most recent patch that came out like last week that supposedly fixed a lot of performance issues on console as well as PC, I didn't really have any issues. Without using any frame generation technology, I was like hovering around 60 to 70 frames per second, which is like
1440.
1440p. Yeah. So it's like, is that like lower than I would expect for my rig? Yes. I'm usually expecting, you know, in the hundreds for the hardware that I have. That being said, is 60 to 70 frames a second playable? 100% it is. It's absolutely fine. And so like, I never really had any issues with performance with this game. And I will say, turning on DLSS, frame generation, all that tech, I think that a lot of times it makes games look weird. And I don't really love the way it kind of makes like some games blurry and weird. And I don't love that about it. So I usually leave it off. But just for fun, I tested it on this game and it works extraordinarily well, maybe better than I've seen it work on any other game. And so, and then that puts me with my rig, I'm like 130, 140 frames, right? And it might be chalked up to kind of like the stylized graphics of this game, where it's not as noticeable if you were like playing something that was like going for a hyper realistic look. But the reality is, from my perspective, and this is just speculation, I think that it's probably like the embracing of this tech at a development level where they're saying like, well, let's not worry about optimizing it as much. Let's just rely on AI to like do the work for us. Let's make sure that the game functions really effectively with this tech, but that requires us to do less. And I think that that's, again, only speculation, but I don't love that. I don't love that because not everybody, like, I mean, up until the 40 series, like frame generation was not great. And even on the 40 series, it's not fantastic. 50 series cards can pump even more frames, which I've heard is like pretty good, you know, but like with any of these new technologies, it's really dependent on what card you have. And like, if you've got a 30 series card, you're probably not having a great time with DLSS. You know what I mean? So
their minimum specs say a 2070.
Okay.
And I think that's probably an issue.
Yeah.
I think that's probably where people are getting really caught up on it. But I don't think people are complaining because they only have 60 frames per second.
No, not at all.
That's not the complaint.
No,
right?
no, I'm not saying that.
No, I know. I'm saying like, I think they're getting a lot worse.
Oh, 100%. I think it's chugging. I think it's running really poorly. And this is not a graphically impressive game. It is just isn't. I mean,
do they look different? Like,
no,
like, because the board, like if I put Borderlands 1, 2, 3, and 4, like
they kind of all look the same.
I was just like the art style. I mean, the art style should lend itself in a way that it actually ages quite well.
Yeah, but it's hard to iterate on that art style, I feel like. So while playing this game, I'm just like, doesn't look bad.
Yeah.
Unless you absolutely hate this like cell shaded style. But I'm not over here being like, holy fuck, this thing is a beautiful game. No, it just looks like Borderlands. So the idea that they're struggling with performance on many different rigs is just insane to me. And like, I don't know. I mean, again, all speculation, but I would not be surprised if that was the philosophy internally. Let's save money. Let's save time. Let's make sure that this is implemented really well. But like, we'll just leave it as it is. And
What
I think that they're catching a lot of flack.
maybe they should have AI write Randy's tweets because
Yeah.
that could probably help
It would
the whole
definitely be better.
situation.
I think it would
It's
be like a market improvement from fucking Randy. So,
this is a game you're playing. Is it fun?
yeah, it's pretty fun.
Okay.
But there's a lot here that I am not a fan of as well. So we'll talk about some of the good things, and then we'll get into the many
Mhm.
number of things that I do not like about this thing. So yeah, the shooting, the gunplay, the guns themselves, all pretty good. I think that if you compare it to like other looter shooters in the genre, Destiny I think is the best just in terms of like shooting mechanics and things like that. I think this is maybe like one peg down from Destiny, but that Destiny's shooting mechanics are very very good and executed on a very high level. So the fact that they're not quite at Destiny level is not necessarily a knock on this game. The guns feel good. Some guns suck, but that's just the way these games work.
Especially Borderlands because
Yeah.
they've always ran really loosey with the modifiers,
Yeah.
which made the game quite amusing and fun,
Yeah.
and that you can have ridiculous modifiers on all these things. It's
Mhm.
kind of their thing.
Yeah, and that's here in spades, and that's pretty satisfying. Legendaries also are randomly modified,
Mm.
so it's not like Destiny where you just get like you
The
get what you get.
Yeah.
Like there are random modifiers, so that incentivizes a grind if you're going for like a specific type of legendary to spit out with specific modifiers. The other thing that's kind of unique and new to Borderlands 4 is guns can spawn with different, because there's like usually 5 or 6 manufacturers in the game that are manufacturing guns, and they all kind of fall under like a specific archetype. And in this game, guns from like one manufacturer can spawn on another manufacturer's gun, right?
Mm.
So for instance, like Jacobs is usually like 6 shooters, like Wild West style, like old time weapons. And like one of the big modifiers that you'll see on their weapons is ricochet ability. So you shoot and then it will ricochet to other enemies. You can get that on any
Assault
of the.
rifle.
Oh yeah, yeah. You can get that on a
So-
Vladoff assault rifle potentially, right?
Huh.
So there's a lot of build diversity when it comes to that, and then it's that grind of like really just trying to find like a god roll of a specific weapon. So
Do they have a slot machine to adjust those?
not that I've seen.
Okay.
There might be. I'm pretty far in this game. Like I'm pretty close to end game, and I'm almost at max level. Max level cap's 50, and I'm at 43.
It was 40. I think I saw you playing.
Yeah, I put like the Steam says that I played 65 hours, but the game client says that I played 45 hours. So I'm gonna go with the game client
Damn.
there.
And you're not at endgame.
No, it's a big game. There's a lot here. But yeah, so the characters are also pretty fun. I mean, I will say I've only played one character. He's very fun. Very, very cool. Every character's got 3 trees, and you kind of pick and choose. They're color coded. It's like red, green, blue.
Mm.
And they all do different things within like maybe one specific like broader idea of the character, and you can mix and match, right? So if you like invest resources into like one tree, you're not locked on that tree. You can kind of go and kind of mix and match and make it kind of your own thing.
You're not going to max out a tree. You're always going to be.
Well, you could if you wanted to.
You could max it out.
Yeah, you could max out one tree for sure. But I wouldn't recommend doing that. I haven't found any reason to stick with one tree because there are like very valuable abilities and modifiers that are going to be in one of the other trees.
I guess what I'm saying is, can you max out all trees?
I don't think you'd be able to max them all out.
Okay.
No.
Because that's kind of the way you make people have to have builds, right?
Yeah.
You don't you can't do that.
Yeah, I just like, yeah, there's no way you can max them all out. But you could probably max out one, But yeah, the character is super fun. And my build absolutely is decimating enemies. And that's one thing that I kind of appreciate about this is that they can kind of like play fast and loose with balance with this thing because it's not inherently like you could play in a multiplayer group, but
Mm.
it's not like Destiny where every gun that they're pumping out's got to be balanced for PvP and things like that, right? So it just kind of functions differently. Where if you get the right roll of a gun and you're building the character correctly, you can just fucking break this game and really just melt things, and that's super satisfying, right?
Mhm.
And so I really like that about it, and I've had a lot of fun. So there's that, like it's mindless fun where you're just running around shooting shit and that's good.
Is it funny? Are you laughing?
There's some stuff that's funny. I
All
will
right.
say, the writing is much better than previous games that I've played.
Mm.
That was one of my really big concerns with this. Was like, if this is like the same kind of like humor and
Yeah.
comedy that they have kind of relied on in the past, like I am not on board, and like I may
They
as
went too
well
far.
turn it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought I only played Borderlands 1 complete and like half of the second one. And
Borderlands 1 was fine because it was like a new thing.
yep.
And you were like, oh, yeah, this is weird and zany and funny. And then by 2, it was like, all right. And then I tried to get into 3 like 5 or 6
Mm.
times. And each time I would go back and install it on my PC, I would get through like the tutorial area. And even that was just too much for me.
It's like a kid.
So it's like very subtly toned down here, where it's still like that brand of humor, but it's not nearly as like beat you over the head. And like I haven't like laughed out loud with anything, but throughout my 40 or so hours
Alright.
with it, I've had a couple where I'm like, yeah, that's funny. That's fun.
Claptrap's there doing dumb shit.
Yeah, yeah, but like very on the periphery. I think
Mm.
that they like consciously were like, well, he's kind of like the mascot of the series, so we want to keep him around. But also there is like a large portion of people that hate him. And so let's just
It's like
like
the Jar Jar Binks.
yeah, let's use him sparingly. So like he shows up a little bit, but not nearly as prevalent as he was like in the first or second game and the third game for that matter. So I think that was a smart decision. But yeah, overall the writing has not been, it's not like the story is nothing special and you're not like, oh my God, this is a revelation.
Yeah.
And like the characters are all just pretty predictable, but that's not what you're here for. You're here to shoot and fucking loot, and there is a lot to shoot and loot here. The big thing here is they have kind of gone away from these like secular zones where you're just like, or singular zones where you're just like in this zone and then you go to like a gate basically and there's a loading screen and then you're into a new area. This is all an interconnected map and it's a big map. There's a lot here. And the way that they've kind of handled it is like an open world game where it's not chock full of like icons and like stupid things to do, but that's there, right? To a certain extent, it's not really a tower. Like you don't go to a tower and it unlocks like more of a map or anything like that. But all of like kind of the tried and true mechanics that you would see in like an open world game are here in one capacity or another. Um, and I don't think it's very good from that perspective. Just because, like, if you compare it to Destiny, what works with Destiny is like, from a looting perspective, you're like, oh, like there's always something going on the map, right? Like there's some emergent event that's happening where it's like, oh, I'm working on this and I need this. So there's like incentivizes me to do that. Not early on in Destiny 2, but like at least with the final shape, they had like nailed that loop down where it was like, if you were in an environment and like an emergent quest was taking place, you were probably going to stop if you were close by and do it, right? That's not here. So there's static points of interest.
It's a living world. You see other people.
No.
Okay.
No, you don't see anything really. The world's fucking dead, man.
Okay.
Like there's not a lot going on here. It feels like so antiquated from that perspective. Like there's just not a whole hell of a lot going on. There are like mobs of enemies that show up, like they'll beam down from the sky, but there's really no incentive to kill them. Like you get like it is so on the nose how much they like implemented a sparrow into this game. It makes the same fucking noise, dude. Yes, yeah, it makes the same noise. And like you're just like going from point A to point B, and there's really no good reason
Huh.
to stop. And there's just nothing going on. And so it's a big world, but it's an empty, dead world. And so it's just like,
Huh.
what the fuck did you guys do with it? Like this is fucking baffling to me that
Weird.
you invested this much time and this much money and this is where you got with this. Like this doesn't fucking cut the mustard.
Wasn't necessarily the goal, like when they started this thing, right?
What I don't know. I mean, I if you're gonna do like this one, you know, continuous open world, you kind of hope that there's more going on than just like the collectibles and also
But
the side mission givers that are in a settlement. You go and talk to them, and then you go off and like
I
do
mean,
a side quest.
the goal may have been to be closer to Destiny, though, to have
Yeah,
a lot more packed in there, and
it's
it
just
just
not
didn't
here.
happen.
It's just not here, dude. And so
Hmm.
it's a pretty big like. The further I've got into it, I'm just like I want to max out a character, and
Sure.
then I want to try the end game out because there's like different difficulty tiers and things like that that you can do. And there is, I don't know the specific of how it works, but I do know that there's like a pretty robust end game loop that is going to make you do different things. So I want to see what that's like. But yeah, the quest structure here is very archaic and antiquated as well. You just go to a marker, and then there's just like this stiff NPC that just basically does what it's programmed to do and then tells you to go do something, and then you go do it. And some of the quest lines are like way too fucking long. Some of them are like one NPC will give you like 8 or 9 things to do, and it's just
Mm.
like you can give me 3 things to do or like one thing to do, like novel idea here, but and they're not really like elevating the story. Like they might have a story quest line, but it's all just very, it just feels very old and not modern in a lot
How's
of
this a
ways.
new Borderlands?
How is it a new
Well,
Borderlands?
I'm just it just sounds
It
you have described Borderlands.
yeah, no,
You have done that.
no,
Mhm.
I'm definitely not saying that there is much new here, other than you know the interconnected world that's new, and then the weapon modifiers are new as well, right?
Crossing. Yeah.
But outside of that, like no, there really isn't a lot that's pushing this thing forward. It's just a Borderlands game,
Mm.
and I think it's a pretty low bar where people are like, it's better than 3, and it's like, yeah, but no one liked 3,
It's
so I don't.
Randy probably did.
Yeah, Randy loved it. This is a fucking premium game for premium gamers. Um, Here's the thing that I hate more than anything about this game is the objective marker system is maybe the worst that I've ever experienced in a
Great.
video game. It is absolutely terrible. So you can go on your map and mark like a point of interest, right?
Mm.
And it will show you like a line from your character to the objective wherever you're going.
Mm.
And then when you're when you're actually like controlling your character, you can hit a button which will bring up this little robot that's not Claptrap, that doesn't talk, thank God,
Mm.
that will shoot out a beam of light,
Towards
and
the
it's based,
objection.
yeah. So it's like
The objective.
it's like a path, right?
Mm.
But that then goes on cooldown, right?
Why would they do that?
So you can't just spam it if you're like lost. And
What
that
kind of cooldown? Like 3 seconds?
oh, much
10 seconds?
longer than that. Like because it's based on like if there's one up on the screen, like a beam of light up on the screen, you can't hit it again. So the beam of light over a period of time just disappears, and then you can hit it again, right? To make
Hmm.
matters worse, and this is where it's just baffling, is sometimes when you mark something and then you press the button to have the light go out, the game will tell you, we don't know how to get here.
What do you
I'm
mean?
not, it literally tells you there's no path found to get to this objective. And you're like, well, if you don't know, you should know. Like, you're the ones that should know. I'm relying on you to know.
Like,
And
is
you're
this-
telling me you don't know?
This isn't like a game mechanic where it's just like, well, no, you got to find this one
No,
yourself.
like
It's
some of it's just like the game can't figure it out. And
we
like,
don't know how to get to Jacobs. It's impossible.
and some of it is hilarious where like it's told me that before where it's just like, no, we don't know.
That's funny.
Good luck. And then I'll like just piece it together on my own. And it's literally like very close and like very easy to figure out. It's baffling how bad it is, dude. Like I've never seen, and it just sometimes like the fucking beam of light will like go straight and then it will go in like a giant circle and then go back the way that it was going. Like it's completely fucking broken the way that it works. And so it's just like, I don't even rely on this. And so it's just, it's puzzling how bad it is. Like I just could not. The first time I saw we don't know how to get there, I was just like, this is a joke, right?
That's pretty funny. I think Dead Space is one of the first ones that did like in your screen, like he puts his hands out and it shoots a line out, right?
Yeah.
and it definitely never was like error.
Yeah. Oh, like I like maybe because Ghost of Yote comes out Thursday, but I was thinking about like Tsushima's implementation of that with like the wind and like the flower petals blowing.
No.
Like that wasn't always perfect. Sometimes there would be times where you'd be like, this doesn't seem right. But the nice thing is you could just fucking spam up on the touchpad and the wind would just blow and blow and blow and blow. Where you're gating me from like relaunching this light, like figure it fucking out.
It's
like
pretty
what are we
funny.
doing here?
It's pretty funny.
So like, I don't know, dude. Like I think this thing is fine. Like if you're a fan of looter shooters, which I absolutely am, there's fun to be had here. I think most people really like all of the characters in the game. There's a lot of like anti-woke dipshits that are really angry about the burly knight being a gay man, which has been fun to see, you know, smooth brain idiots talk about it. They're like, you're beating me over the head, because there's like data logs that you find that are pertain to all of the characters in the game, regardless of what character you're playing. And like early on in the game, he talks about like losing his boyfriend. And he's like talking about how sad he is for losing his boyfriend. And everybody's like, well, this can't stand. We're so angry. And it's just like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like, oh my God, this is so like, this is the shit that you care about. You guys are fucking morons. So yeah, like that's really dumb. But it seems like people like the characters, like their builds, their kind of their dynamics and things like that. There's just a lot of build diversity here as well. So good from that perspective. But if you're coming into this being like, oh, I want some like dynamic mission structure, or I want something that's going to really feel unique and new, that is not here, man. Like you're just going to go from one point to another and you're going to shoot shit. And then you're going to go to another point and shoot shit. And that's it. Like, that's it. It's just a shooting gallery that spits out loot.
It just seems like a missed opportunity where, I mean, I don't know if it's wise to completely copy Destiny. I don't know if at the end of the day that's going to be a very big success story, but it's right there. Like, to make the big world, to bring other people in, to have a big fortress thing that you got to go take down with other randos that just show up in your world. Like, it's obvious that Borderlands could have gone in that direction, and that probably would be fun to play.
Yeah. It'd be more fun than this, certainly. And I don't think that you necessarily have to like cut and paste what Destiny did, but like you got to do more than what is here. This world is just lifeless. Like there's just, I mean, in the older games, the worlds felt lifeless too, but you were also like dealing with like a different era of gaming, specifically when we're talking about the first two games at least. And so it's like you get a pass on that. But here, where we're in 2025 and you're putting out a premium game for premium gamers, doesn't feel fucking very premium.
I can't. I want to talk. You said it looks just like a sparrow.
It doesn't. You can change its aesthetics. It sounds exactly like a sparrow.
It should look like a jank ass like thing that you've like bolted together.
Yeah,
it's Borderlands, right?
It pretty much does.
Okay.
Yeah, like there are like probably 7 or 8 different skins that you can put on it that drastically change the way it looks. And then you can like do paint jobs and things like that on it. So it doesn't look like a sparrow. It just has that noise, and you can boost just like a sparrow, and it makes all these like, I'm just like, I don't understand this is what we came up with. I actually liked uh the buggies and stuff like that in the older games,
Yeah.
like the dune buggies with
Mhm.
like the turret on them. That was really fun. Especially you had a friend like
Mhm.
get in the turret and you're just like driving around, mobbing around. That was like a good time. And now you just have these like basically sparrows and none of them are good. Like you can change some of their attack and like each manufacturer has their own like variant of it,
Mhm.
which changes your stats and your weapons. But the weapons are so ineffectual. Like they do no damage. And there's also no reason to use the weapons because the game never forces you to engage with the vehicular combat like I felt like it did in older games, where it was just like, yeah, go to this settlement and there's like a mission where we like ride around in cars and you got to, blow up other cars and things like that. I'm 40 hours in. Maybe it's going to happen, but like it
Probably
hasn't
not.
happened yet.
Huh.
And it's just like there's just not a lot going on here, man. And so it just
Hmm.
I don't know what else to say other than I am not like a giant fan of this thing, and I think I know it's not fair, but I think I'm less of a fan after playing this for as long as I have, and then also listening to Randy Pitcher's dumbass has made it even harder for me to be like, yeah,
I think he peaked at like one of his first games, which is fucking Half-Life, not the original. He either made Opposing Force or Blue Shift. I'm not sure which one, but one of them.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, one of the expansions he made
Okay,
and was involved in. So
I
um,
I this is not it, dude. Like there is like a lot of shit here where I'm just like, this is not what I'm looking for. I might change my tune when I roll around endgame because there is I know
in
that
a
there
lot of
is a
ways,
lot.
it's why you play these games.
True.
Like, a lot of times you get to the end game and then you get to have some fun.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm pretty close to that
Mm.
point. So I'll report back on that. But outside of that, not a huge fan, Nick.
Mm. Okay. Are you a day one Ghost of Yote?
There's a lot on my plate right now.
I don't think
So
I don't. I was looking at it, and then the first one did not like. I played 10 hours, maybe, and I don't know that I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna pick it up right away and play it. I've got other things. I think I would be more likely to play Hades 2.
yeah, I picked that up.
Like,
And if you like Hades, I played like 2 runs,
okay,
and if you like Hades, you like this. It seems like more of that, which
uh,
like we'll probably talk about that more. But
I heard that a lot changes.
Okay.
I heard there are some things. I don't even want to spoil it because I think it got spoiled for me. There are some things you can do in there that's like, oh shit.
Well, I would hope so because
Um,
my initial impressions of it is like Hades is a fantastic game. I don't know if I necessarily want more of this exact
exact thing.
experience. And like my early impressions of it is it's just more Hades. It looks very nice and really pops.
And
But
I never got the like ultimate ending in Hades. Like you had to like beat it 9 times or something.
yeah,
I didn't do that. So
yeah, those dudes are top of the class when it comes to hand drawn character art. Oh my god, it is
mm,
so fucking it is gorgeous. I mean, yeah, like everybody was making a big deal about fucking all of the NPCs in the first game. Like, yep,
just
you
keep
just want
going.
to just fuck all of these ones too.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll talk about that more on probably in the next show. But yeah, going back to Yote, I mean, I platinum the first game and I think it's pretty good for one of those, but it is one of those. And all of the reviews that I've seen come out are like, yeah, the combat's better, which is good because I thought the combat was pretty satisfying and fun, especially like the duels in that game
Mhm.
were pretty awesome. So the prospect of this being better combat is good. But then I've also heard like, yeah, but it's just like more,
Another big map, and I don't.
I'm not like super stoked on the idea of going through a 60 to 70 hour experience of that again.
Not for some reason that didn't grab me. So I don't mind a big map if it's the right game, but I don't think I'm gonna touch it, which is a bummer. I think the PlayStation 5 is I don't know. I don't know where I fall on that console. Returnal's one of my favorite games ever. That's really what I have to say about the PlayStation 5.
It ain't no PlayStation 4, we'll say that.
Like, I
But
don't know.
yeah, I generally agree with you. Like I just love I think PS4 is one of the greatest consoles ever. And when you compare the PS4 to the PS5, I don't think that it's necessarily on the same footing.
No. But because of the pricing that's going on, uh, I think these consoles might be here for a bit. Um, the Xbox is a lot of money. The price went up. I should have it. I think it's eight. Is it $700 or $800? Like
I don't know.
it's something
Probably.
stupid. It's
Yeah.
something. It's something absolutely stupid. To go buy a new Xbox because the price just went up. Costco stopped carrying them, and I don't know. Like they all just did it later. Like the tariffs and shit hit, and they just like sold through their stock, and now all these things are coming through, and it's just like you were selling like 9 Xboxes a month before the pricing. Like, what?
Yeah.
You're not. They're not going to sell any.
Doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense.
And
Sony is actually selling like one. I read today actually like they're selling one SKU at a lower price, but the only reason why they are is they're trying to get rid of all of them because they're releasing like a new iteration of the base model that's got a bigger hard drive
Great.
that will be like way more expensive. So I guess strike while the iron's hot and spend $600 or $700 if you want a PS5. But yeah,
The good Xbox,
the good Xbox.
like the Series X, like
Yeah,
this,
is there such a thing?
well, the Series X is like the strongest one,
Yeah.
or most powerful. Not even the 2 TB is $649,
Wow.
and that console has been out a while,
Mm-hmm.
and it has not. Like that's expensive.
That's for the S or the X?
X.
Okay.
X. If you want S, which does not run things very well, it's $400 for 512 gigabytes, which is one Call of Duty.
Yeah.
The pricing's a problem.
Yeah.
I would think
Everything is a fucking problem,
Yeah.
dude.
But
We're fucked.
yeah, pretty much. With that said, that's gonna do it. That's Gamescast 160. Thank you for listening. You can come and join the Discord. You look in the show notes, there should be a link, or if you're watching on YouTube, you can go to our bio. There's a link there. That's gonna do it. Take it easy, guys.